Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into some really fascinating theological sources.
We are. We're looking at faith, the afterlife, and something I think is incredibly relevant, how we're supposed to treat our adversaries.
Exactly. And our goal here is really to just pull out the most surprising ideas, especially around divine mercy and what happens right after we die.
And the ethics of it all, the really radical commands.
Okay, so let's start right there with the concept of time. This one, I think, completely reframes the whole picture. The sources say the time between death and resurrection. It's just a single day.
Right. The quote is something like, we remained for a day or part of a day. It's shocking.
It is. It suggests that this whole intermediate life, the Barzakh, is almost like a brief sleep.
It's just sleep, which puts this immense weight back on this life, the one we're living right now.
But there's an exception noted, isn't there?
A critical one. Those killed in the path of Allah are described as alive with their Lord, receiving provision. So they seem to bypass that sleep stage entirely.
An immediate active reward. So if our rest is just a blink of an eye, it makes the test we're in right now feel so much more intense.
And that takes us straight to the ethics, specifically how to deal with an enemy.
Which feels almost impossible. The source states very clearly, good and evil are not equal.
Exactly. And the instruction isn't just to, tolerate evil. It's to actively repel evil with what is better. It's an action.
An action meant to transform the situation.
Yes. The text says, if you can do this, the person who was your enemy will become as a devoted friend.
Okay, but let's be realistic. Repelling aggression with something better.
Right.
I mean, in practice, doesn't that just open you up to being harmed more?
And that's the crucial point. The source acknowledges that, of course, defense is necessary to repel physical harm, but the real work is internal.
The internal component.
This great goodness, it's only granted to those who are patient. The final goal is to remove rancor from your own heart, to get to a place where you not hate anyone, not even an enemy.
So it's a test, an internal, moral test of endurance.
It's all a test from Allah. Think of Prophet Ismail saying, "You will find me, if Allah wills, among the patient." It's about that spiritual stamina.
This standard of patience leads us right into the idea of divine justice and punishment. The sources constantly emphasize Allah as all-forgiving, the most merciful.
And it all connects. If Allah is all-forgiving, then removing our own rancor is part of that process. It prepares the soul.
But the sources also have a pretty stark warning, right, for people who get too complacent.
Oh, yes. It warns against those who say, the fire will not touch us except for a few numbered days. So accountability is absolutely real.
Right. But here's the big intellectual twist the source offers. It's a reevaluation of what abiding therein forever might actually mean.
It suggests the phrase could mean a very long age, not necessarily a literally endless eternity.
Which fundamentally changes how you think about divine justice.
It does, and the evidence given is fascinating. The people in the fire ask for their leaders to receive double the punishment.
And you can't double something that's infinite.
Exactly. The logic is that the request itself indicates that the punishment has an end. It frames punishment as severe and restorative, but not necessarily endless retribution.
So if you put all this together, this very brief afterlife, the radical ethics, this nuanced justice, what's the point of our existence right now?
The sources tie it all back to one central purpose. This life is a test you as to which of you is best indeed.
To serve Allah, to obey Him.
And to serve His creation as He commanded. And there's that final reminder, which is so important, that Allah does not burden a soul beyond its capacity.
So to just quickly summarize what we've unpacked for you, Barzakh is like a single day of sleep. The ethics for dealing with an enemy are incredibly demanding, and the idea of forever might be more nuanced than we thought.
Which leaves us with a final thought. If this worldly life is a test to see who is best indeed, and you're never burdened beyond what you can handle, what does that tell you about the real value and the true weight of every single decision you make in this very short testing period? Something to think about.